Good noon, everyone. Welcome to Nifty Banknifty live analysis. Now, the main idea over here would be to understand about the Hero Zero expiry. So today was a huge gap up, which basically took place in Nifty and Bank Nifty. And more importantly, if I try to actually see from broader perspective, at least on bigger time frames, one thing is very clear: the resistance, as I had told you before, also is far. So the max call OI resistance, which is like 16,200 zone, is basically far from the current juncture. So the entire idea over here is it has still room for the upside, but that can be for positional basis. But we need to understand for intraday Hero Zero expiry what can be true. Now, if you see, the upside move is still pending towards 16,200, and more importantly, if we see on the hourly chart, after the gap up, he is not able to sustain on the higher side. So that is also one important thing to understand, that the upside can be capped. Well, now we need to see on the smaller time frame. So right over here, we can clearly see that strong base has been made at this point. So no doubt this would be the strong support zone for Nifty today, which is 16,060 or so. So day low will be important support zone for Nifty. And if we are interested to sell, what we basically need over here is to sustain below this zone, try to bounce over here and then go down. So this would be our trade for Hero Zero expiry. Once it comes towards the day low, we would basically wait for him to bounce and then cross the day low for the downside. So it can come down at least 50-70 points, and then you can take the put option of, if you want, 16,100 can be a good pick over here as a put option. Well, आप अगर निफ्टी में डाउन साइड देख ट्रेड करना चाहते हो फॉर हीरो जीरो एक्सपायरी, बिकॉज जब तक वो डे का लो नहीं तोड़ता है और वहां पे एटलीस्ट एक बार या दो बार बाउंस नहीं करता है, उसके बाद वो लेके जाएगा, तो वन वे आपको 70-80 पॉइंट्स का मूव डाउन साइड में मिल सकता है. और वही डाउन साइड के मूव के लिए आप 16,100 का या 16,000 का पुट ऑप्शन देख सकते हो. सो मेजरली 16,100 ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा फॉर हीरो जीरो एक्सपायरी. So seeing the upside, resistance is very, very high. Chances are less for the upside to happen, but let us also see on smaller time frame to get more clarity that can it also push on the upside or not. Because upside, if the resistance is high, then yes, upside can get capped. So if I try to see this from the dynamic OI perspective, and many comments have been received for dynamic OI, I would suggest you to check the description, and in the description we have given you the access of this tool, and you can get the demo access for free. So 16,200, as we already know, max call OI is there, so it has room to go there, but the resistance is not very high on the higher side. More importantly, 16,100 is the key. So if market remains below 16,100, it can go to 16,000 very fast. So this is very interesting. अगर मार्केट 16,100 या 16,100 के नीचे सस्टेन करता है, तो वन साइड डाउनफॉल आ सकता है निफ्टी में फॉर टुडेज हीरो जीरो एक्सपायरी. सो 16,100 is very, very crucial. So we can basically see 16,100 zone as very, very important zone. So this zone we can say is very important zone, which we need to figure out that if it does not sustain above this zone, it is a strong resistance zone. So if it sustains above this, then you can get a breakout trade on the upside. But more or less what things are kind of seemed, I feel that from here, this zone, the downside can come through. And more importantly, once it breaks the support zone of today, so then further upside can also be capped and it can go all the way on the downside. So this can be a clarity trade that you can take, because there is, if it is sustaining below 16,100, so you might sustain above and then sharply moves down, then you can take the trade. Then it comes to the support zone, and once it breaks the support zone, can go down. So 16,100 put option for Hero Zero expiry can be the best play today if market sustains below 16,100. So that's the take for Nifty. Now let's try to see on Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty is very strong. You can clearly see after the down move have moved up, came back down, kind of went sustained on the sideways and zoomed on the upside. Again, we can see he has come back into these zones where the strong support zone is there. So one thing is very clear. Bank Nifty has huge support zone in this area. So 34,600 to 700 zone is very important support zone for Bank Nifty. So Bank Nifty एक solid support zone है more or less ये zone में जहाँ पे 34,600 to 700 zone is very strong. Now the second point over here, if I try to see Bank Nifty as well on the higher time frame, we can clearly see he has gone beyond the resistance zone. So this zone, which was the resistance of yesterday, that has been overcome and it has moved on the higher side. Now, more importantly, what we have to track is this zone. So this is the zone where we can say that Bank Nifty is still flirting in the gap zone, which is the strong resistance zone. So which tells me that for today's expiry, I can again go for a put option in Bank Nifty as well. So that is what I would be interested to do. And if I try to see on smaller time frame, we can clearly see right at the top resistance is there. So if it tries to go on the higher side and does a fake breakout on the downside, then I'm interested to go for the sell trade. So आपको sell trade के लिए देखना है बैंक निफ्टी अगर एक नया हाई बना देता है और वहां से अगर सेलिंग आती है, सो अभी नहीं करना है सेल, एक बार इसको अप ट्रेंड जैसे स्टेबिलिटी इज देयर और ही इज ट्राइंग टू बाउंस बैक अप, इसको बाउंस होने दो और यहां से जब वो ब्रेक करता है then it can go down very fast. So this zone is where we have to catch the put option of Bank Nifty. So 34,800 या 34,700 का put option आप खरीद सकते हो. So let Bank Nifty go on the higher side once it goes into that red band, and we have got that from hourly chart, and that shows that if it does not sustain on the higher side, tries to make an attempt to go up and then come back down and does not sustain, coming back down, you can go for 34,800 put option. And as we know, if this zone is been removed, then you will have Bank Nifty coming all the way towards day low. So that would be the critical case of today, where the resistance seems to be very sharp on the upside. So taking a breakout trade is kind of risky, and we need to now wait out and understand whether it can kind of sustain on the higher side and give us a good down move from 2 o'clock. Okay, so let's also check quickly on the dynamic OI side, and we can clearly see a good OI came right over here in the morning, green dotted lines, which was also fantastic. Now if I try to see from dynamic OI, market is somewhere around 34,700 and 7 July today's expiry OTM option. And as I said, if you want to get the access to this tool, you can check the description and the link is basically given. So from there you can take the demo access of this tool. So 34,700 has huge OI, 1.5 lakh, but more than that, you can clearly see 500, 600, huge potential support on the downside. So 500, 600 में बहुत important support zone है. So ये पूरा zone जो है 500, 600, 700, this entire zone, ये पूरा support zone आज बना हुआ है बैंक निफ्टी के लिए. So more or less अगर एक बार 700 के नीचे sustain करता है तो obvious है कि at least 600 के zone तक आ जाएगा. Right, so this is very important कि ये जो zone है 600 का, this is very important कि यहाँ तक आ जाएगा. So if you try to take trade, यहाँ पे अगर आप trade लेते हो, okay, with small stop loss, तो all the way यहाँ तक आ जाएगा, और अगर इसको निकाल दिया तो एक और downfall आपको मिल सकता है. So try to wait for a good up move and the M formation in the red band, and once it forms that and then it tries to slide on the downside, then you can go for the put option of 34,700 put option for the 00 expiry. Well, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you like and subscribe to our channel so that you get all the timely updates, and do make sure that you on the notification so that whenever we are going live, you get the notification right away. So thank you very much and happy trading.